Alright, so I'm going to work a problem when you have parallel lines cut by a transversal. There's a couple things we're going to have to remember. We are going to have to remember that my vertical angles are congruent. So angles 1 and 2 here are congruent. We have to remember that same side interior angles are supplementary, meaning they equal 180 degrees. So angle 2 and angle 3 are same side interior angles. We also have to remember alternate interior angles are congruent. So angle 2 here and the angle right here on the other side of the transversal from angle 3. These angles are going to be congruent. And of course, then we have our linear combinations, 1, 3, and 4 here. These are linear combinations because they are two angles that are going to be supplementary that are on the same line. All right, so here we have a simple basic setup of a parallel line cut by transversal. Let's call this line L and this line M. So line L and line M are parallel. We can tell because of these little arrow marks in the lines. And then the line coming through this is called a transversal. Now it could be in all types of different ways. I just happen to draw it this direction. And then within this problem, I tell you the measure of angle 2 is 9x plus 9. So this one right here is 9x plus 9. And the measure of angle 3 is 7x minus 5. Within this problem, we want to find x, the measure of angle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so we know angle 2 and angle 3 are same side interior angles, so they're going to be supplementary. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply just add these up, and they have to equal 180 degrees. So we can do 9x plus 9 plus 7x minus 5, and that's going to equal 180 degrees because they're supplementary. From here, we're going to combine like terms, and I'm going to get 16x plus 4 equals 180. Subtract 4 from both sides. I have 16x equals 176. Divide by 16, and I get x equals 11. All right, so now we know x equals 11. To find the measure of angle 1, well, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles, so they're going to be congruent. So if I know the measure of angle 2, I know the measure of angle 1. So what I'm going to do is, since I have an x, I'm going to plug it back in. So my measure of angle 2, which is going to equal the measure of angle 1, actually equals 9 times 11 plus 9, which gives me 99 plus 9, which gives me 108 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 is 108 degrees. That's a horrible zero. So angle 2 and angle 1, because they're vertical angles, they are going to also be congruent, so that is also 108 degrees. Well, the measure of angle 3, we can find it two ways. We can either plug the 11 in, and we can say the measure of angle 3 equals 7 times 11 minus 5, which gives me 77 minus 5, which gives me 72 degrees. Or I could have just simply done 180 minus 108, which also gives me 72 degrees. Because we know that these two have to add up to be 180. You didn't actually have to plug the 11 in. So the measure of angle 3 is it's 72 degrees. Now, angle 4, these are linear combinations. They have to add up to 180. So if we know it's 72, this also is 108 degrees. Now, if you do remember the little trick, if you're my student, I showed a way, and we use WikiSticks, where we can actually see which angles are parallel and which ones are not parallel, but which angles are congruent and which angles are supplemental. So what we did is we drew a little line almost coming through angle 1 and angle 2, then we cut back across, and then we drew another line again, kind of like a crooked Z. If it's on the same line, remember we put our fingers on it, if it's on the same line, they were congruent. If we put our fingers on the two angles we're looking at, and if they were not on the same line, they were supplementary. So that was kind of an easy little visual trick to be able to see which angles are congruent and which angles are supplementary. Hi, I'm Mr. Buzzard, and these videos are supplemental instruction for my students. If you found the video enjoyable, make sure you click the like button and click subscribe, as well as the bell for notifications to receive future videos on high school mathematics.